Hi everybody! We finally got our first look at End of Dragons this week, and ArenaNet have shown us some of the upcoming features, which included Elite Specialization teasers. If you don't know, you can actually go to the expansions page and scroll down to see all 9 Elite Specialization icons. So what I'm hoping to do today is to discuss these a little by sharing my speculations and seeing what you thought. So if you have any ideas, I'd love to read them in the comments, because some of these icons are rather mysterious and could go several ways. Let's start with the one that's already been outed, which is the Virtuoso. The mesmer will get a dagger, just like many people, including myself, have speculated based on the silhouette, and the floating daggers function exactly like ESO Sorcerer, as I mentioned in my video. Your clones will indeed be replaced by floating spectral daggers, which you'll be able to send out to your enemy in various shatters. So I'm quite pleased by this one. Getting a power-based ranged main hand was one of my wishes for mesmer. Now the icon for the Virtuoso is probably the first one right there, as it has 3 throwing knife style daggers next to each other. So I don't really see a world where that is not the mesmer icon, because it does look like what we've been shown, and also because none of the others really match what we've been shown. What's a little less clear is which icon the Necromancer Elite Specialization will be getting. They showed us the silhouette, and I think it's much clearer than the mesmer's was. ArenaNet probably wanted to avoid another "is that a spear? No, it's a dagger. No, it's the side view of a bow" type situation. So yeah, it looks like a pistol. It's probably a pistol. Well, that is unfortunately not my double axe wielding flesh renting blood mage. It does seem to have some vials around its belt, so the elixir part of my prediction may actually happen. So the Necromancer will be getting a ranged elite spec with some alchemy elements, possibly. It has a very Bloodborne-esque witch hunter vibe. The hat itself is part of that aesthetic, I think, and it looks like the Necro may be wearing a necklace made from trophy claws or teeth or something, which is a bit strange to me, since Necromancers seem like the very thing that witch hunters would want to hunt. So, you know, we'll see what their skills will play like very soon, though. The mesmer beta is in 3 weeks, and the Necro will be coming after that one. So certainly there will be wave after wave of End of Dragons content to keep us occupied until the expansion launches in February. The icon is a bit of a 50-50. We do have one that looks like a bullet being shot, so many people think that line around it is the Necromancer's magic. However, there's also an icon that looks like a bomb or a vial. Some take this to be the engineer, because it's a bomb and it may have a dragon's eye symbol in it, so this could be a Dragon Jade technology-based engineer. To me, that looks more like a vial with a tapered neck and a stopper in it, surrounded by some smoke. If it was a bomb, I'd expect it to have a stumpy top, like the engineer's core icon, and a fuse coming out of it. So this is one of the first icons that have several possibilities, and if you have any ideas that go either way, please do share. The next icon we could look at is the one right next to the vial/bomb, which is also kind of weird. It could be a helmet cut in half, but to me it looks like a buff dude with fists. Engineers already have pistols and rifles, so the bullet icon is out, and the only other mechanical icon here is either the one with the vial/bomb, or this one. But I think this may hint at some type of construct, perhaps the new Dragon Jade technology advancement of the old Kurzic juggernauts, or some cybernetic arm upgrades. On the End of Dragons page there is a cyborg-looking dude with some Dragon Jade prosthetics, so the engineer may be able to do that too, in which case the icon would have to be the penultimate one that we're discussing. It could be a new style of golem as well. I know engineers have loved the idea of being a golemancer regardless of race, so that icon is a pretty good contender for the upcoming engineer elite specialization, whatever that may be. Now let's get some easy ones out of the way, so we can narrow down the more difficult ones for later. The crossed swords icon is likely going to be the thief elite specialization. The devs said that they were focused on Cantha when they developed the new elite specs. Assassins are an iconic Canthan profession, thieves don't have enough hand sword yet, so they would be a perfect match for that ninja vibe. And those diamonds could also represent initiative dots. And none of the other icons look particularly thief-like, so I think this is one of the safer bets here. Moving on, the eye is almost certainly a Revenant elite spec, as the shape looks very similar to their core and renegade icons, and the eye also gives me Ritualist vibes. Nope, I have not given up hope yet, although the spikes are a bit odd. Some suggest that Revenants would get double daggers as a result, and personally I hope that won't be the case. Thief, or someone else, but let's be honest, probably Thief, will get a double sword spec while already having double daggers, and I'm not sure how many double blade agile melee builds the game needs when Revenant already has Shiro, which is an excellent dual-wielding build. ArenaNet could throw us a curveball, of course, and make Revenant double daggers ranged, just like Mesmer dagger is ranged, or how Revenant hammer is ranged, and Revenants could use a ranged main hand and or offhand. I'm just not sure I'm excited about the concept. Based on the icons lineup, it may be the case that a lot of professions get a dagger, or a sword, or a bullet type build, so I hope they won't overuse things. The fire is probably the Elementalist icon. It fits the lineup of their previous icons, and there isn't really anything else that would suggest Elementalist at first glance. People have said that the weapon may be a torch because, well, it's fire and it's a torch. Although I'm not really looking forward to another Ellie offhand. Others have said it may be the front view of an arrow being shot through fire, giving Ellies a bow. Yet another idea I heard was that it's clearly a mace head, smashing down and creating flames, and although I can see that, it's unlikely to be another melee weapon after Weaver was so amazing. Now, icons don't necessarily depict weapons though. As you can see the mask right there, it's not a weapon. Many previous icons had nothing to do with the weapon, so it could just be an Elementalist icon with whatever weapon, really. I have heard people suggesting that it looks like a gem, so it may be Dragon Jade based, and it could look like a magical orb too, if you consider that negative space can be part of the design, as in the bomb/vial, in which the black orb with something white in it is part of the design. We're going to have to wait and see on that one. Now the second icon looks the most nature-oriented to me. It could be a stylized lotus, those things on top could be leaves or petals, and I don't get ranger vibes from any other icon more than from this one. The bullet could be a ranger with a mechanical projectile weapon, but they already have long and short bows and a ranged staff, so I don't think the bullet's the ranger one. Looking at that second icon though, it doesn't really reveal much in terms of weapon. Some said it may be a hammerhead from the front, others said it could be a shield. It actually looks pretty zen to me, so I thought it may also be a monk-like spec, you know, someone who's aligned all their chakras and is in tune with the universe, or whatever. If there's one thing I am disappointed by, is that it doesn't look more like a turtle, which is something I was hoping for from the ranger. Alas, we shall see, my friends, we shall see. Finally, we're left with two icons, the mask and the bullet. The reason I left those two for last is that I don't believe they belong to any of the professions we covered so far, and those who kept track knows that the only two professions I haven't mentioned are the Guardian and Warriors. So let's start with the mask. It clearly looks like a samurai mask, and the devs did say they were inspired by Cantha, so it could be a samurai-themed spec which would fit the warrior. However, there's the issue of the weapon. Many people thought that a samurai spec would get two wakizashi-type blades or a two-handed katana, but warriors already have those. They also have a longbow, which is another samurai weapon that warriors already have. What they could use, however, is a naginata, or a staff, which would essentially act as a pole sword. I find this a viable theme for a Canthan warrior. I'd just be really sad if they wasted the staff on a melee spear, rather than going with the ranged spear animations of a paragon-like class that's already in the game, except for players. But I guess we'll see. Another point that people raise, though, is that the mask gives them Ministry of Purity vibes, such as this Canthan Zealot. In that case, the mask could be the Guardian, leaving the bullet for the warrior. Warriors already have rifles, so the bullet would have to be pistols, giving them a gunslinger henchman vibe. If the bullet was the Guardian, it would probably be a rifle, although that may be an odd fit. If the Guardian was the mask icon, they could get an offhand sword to go for that wakizashi type samurai. And of course there's the question whether we got the previous ones right. If the bullet was the Necromancer, the bomb could be the engineer, freeing up that buff dude construct thing to maybe be a juggernaut-like warrior. Who knows really, it's anybody's guess at this point. Overall, for some of these icons we can be reasonably sure about the profession, for others we can be reasonably sure about the weapon, and then there are a couple of wild cards out there. And as an added bonus, for those of you who have watched this far, thank you, I actually did some extra sleuthing and found this moment in the trailer. It's gone really quickly, it's like 3 seconds of combat during the voiceover, but we can see that character wielding a greatsword in a rather interesting way. I'm not sure whether this will be an actual in-game combat style for one of the elite specs, or if it's just an animation they did for the trailer, or one that will be on NPCs only, just like the Paragon spear throwing animations. But what I will say is that this is a plate armor profession, you can tell by the boots, and it's a player character stand-in. So it's not an actual NPC, but the female non-representation of the commander that they used during the Icebrood saga. Warrior and Guardian already have greatswords and they move nothing like that, so Revenant greatsword confirmed? Let me know what you think. The character with the offhand pistol may also be interesting to speculate about. Is it just an NPC or one of the elite specs? Just as the screen cuts away, we can see them jumping towards the enemy, sort of, so perhaps this is a thief with a pistol? Although they are almost in a martial arts stance and have no main hand weapon. Maybe this footage was mirrored, and it's the main hand pistol Necromancer? Who knows, it may just be a purely conceptual, vaguely Asian attack duo created for the trailer alone. So I hope you enjoyed my speculation about the official End of Dragons Elite Specialization icons, and please do share your thoughts in the comments, as clearly there is quite a bit of mystery and potential interpretation involved. Also, just a public service announcement to those of you who have purchased the expansion, ArenaNet are currently working on fixing an issue with the level 80 boost, so it's been disabled in the meantime. And if you order the Ultimate Edition with the 4000 gems, those will take around 72 hours to be delivered. I'm still waiting for mine. Just saying so you don't worry about your order. So I hope you're looking forward to learning more about the upcoming Elite specs when they release them for beta testing. Until then, have a nice day and thanks for watching.